This is the first of 2 videos covering our week in Goliad, Texas, as part of a larger 2-month loop through the eastern U.S. Goliad is a small Texan town with a lot of history. The state park is not just a campground with beautiful trails. It's also a historic site and home to the Mission Espiritu Santo. We'll visit the mission and then later learn about the Angel of Goliad as we explore the area by bike. But for now, the adventure starts with the drive from Austin to Goliad. We marvel at the size of the interchanges and the magnitude of the speed limits. And as seems to be usual for a drive day, things start out with a little mishap.
We were just laughing about how every single time we have a drive day, something happens. I mean, we already know that we have to prepare ourselves on drive days to be...
Or something happens. Or something is happening right now. We're driving.
We're driving. But we know we need to prepare ourselves on drive days to be problem solvers because there's always something. So we just had one of those, what's it called?
I don't know. It's for the hoses.
It's just a plastic.
To layer. It's a plastic thing. There is a mechanism that goes over it. I didn't put it over it. So apparently the wind caught it, pulled it into a big accordion,
and out off the
then
side.
off it went.
So we're sorry, Texas. That's on the side of the road now. That's okay. But the kids were just joking about how, Leah, what did you say?
When does it end? First my bike, and then the RV comes off, and then this, when it's gonna end. That's what I said.
Yeah, so Olivia says it's going to end when we lose everything. And we were joking that we'll just be walking into Burlington with just a field of debris behind us at the end of this 7-week trip. But hopefully with a smile on our face, right?
I don't think we'll have a smile. Well, did we bring an extra tent that we could use to sleep?
You think it's going to get that bad, Olivia?
I think so, but this keeps up.
You gotta laugh about these things. Texas has the biggest highway interchanges I've ever seen in my life.
I know, and I thought I went to the airport and they had some stuff like this. And I thought they were okay, but I hadn't seen nothing.
It's
You weren't seen nothing yet.
There's I don't know, 5 or 6 levels to this thing.
And we're on the highest. Whoa! Whoa! I want to see if I can still see down there. Oh, looks like a storm's rolling in. We looked at the perfect time.
So we're driving on a interstate here in Texas, and I thought that it was pretty fast when I think we were driving here and it was 70 miles an hour. But we're on an interstate now and it's 85 miles per hour. So in kilometers, that's 136 kilometers an hour. And I think the fastest road that I've driven on in Ontario anyways is 110 kilometers an hour. So it's kind of crazy, but I mean, it's a nice flat straight road, so
Terrible for gas mileage though.
why not? Well, I'm not going the speed limit. I'm going
No, I know.
I'm actually going 69 right now, so I don't really care that it's 85. I'm not gonna drive
There's
85.
2 lanes so people can
no,
go around, although you're going about the same as the truck.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't even going 85, so it's kind of an interesting experiment to have a faster speed, because it doesn't seem to be bad at all.
Well, it's interesting, even at when we were in Arkansas, there was that super windy road that we had to keep taking in and out of not in and out of the park, but to get to the
To the
entrance
town.
to the park.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And it was 55, and you were commenting that even without the trailer, you couldn't even go that fast on that road.
Yeah, I went 40 and
Yeah, it
55. So, and even, I mean, maybe if I was in the Tesla, but like in this truck, I was pretty comfortable at about 40 or 45 in a 55. So,
Yeah,
well,
very
at
interesting.
least you have the option.
Yeah. We're gonna explore that later, honey. It's a historic mission. We'll learn all about it. Okay, well, let me go into the park headquarters and check in. This looks like a nice. Park visitors, use front. Okay.
So behind me here is the Mission Espiritu Santo. This is part of the Goliad State Park that we're staying in, and it's really only a very short walk from where our trailer is parked. We had the opportunity to have a tour by Emily, who works here, on Sunday when we arrived. It was supposed to be a 45-minute tour. Emily spent over 2 hours with us.
Introduce myself to y'all real quick. My name is Emily, and I've been here for about 4 years or so, and this is my favorite part of the job, is talking with people. So thank you for being here. This is Mission Espiritu Santo, and this mission began back in the 1720s, but before that, all of what we know today as Texas was occupied and kind of claimed by Spain. So Spain had called this all New Spain. Next door, Louisiana, that was French territory. So Spain is here, France is next door, and Spain's trying to hold this land. They're afraid that France is going to come in and start chipping away at their land rights.
Did Spain have Mexico too?
Yes, yes.
Because of Spanish?
Yes, so they had claimed Texas and a little bit more, and then down south into Mexico as well. And down in Mexico is actually where most of the Spanish people were. Back in this area, this was all mostly occupied by Native Americans. Try to stay about an arm's length away from the walls because we have, first off, they're really old and fragile, but we have black widows, coral snakes. I actually have a video of a coral snake eating another snake on top of the wall. So the Native Americans were not going to fight the French for Spanish. They would fight the French for themselves, they'd fight the Spanish for themselves, but of course, they're not going to fight for Spain. There were Franciscan priests who had been wanting permission to build more missions. At the time, we had a few missions, and the purpose of the missions was actually to bring Native Americans in and turn them into Spanish citizens. Now, Spain finds out that France has landed in their territory, not just landed, but established a fort, and they're very mad. So they realize, okay, we need a little bit more help in this area. So they decide, okay, yeah, it's worth it. We can go ahead and establish a mission in that area. But first came the Presidium. So have y'all been over to the Presidio Jump Street? Okay, so it's called Presidio La Bahia.
So this is the one of the most fought over sites in Texas.
La Bahia and Espiritu Santo get their names from that area down there, but the purpose of the Presidio was to house the Spanish soldiers who would protect the land and hold it for Spain. And the mission, of course, was to bring in the Native Americans and turn them into Spaniards. The Aranama would be eating these, nothing but pecans, for like 2 months straight. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Y'all ready?
It's like you're in jail.
It is, yeah. We're hoping to get something different soon, but right now it looks like jail. But they would have eaten pecans for months. This is a mesquite bean pod, and the seeds. Eat it? This is really old. But they would have eaten these. So the Apaches are forced down here. And the Apaches ran into the Aranama, and they had never met each other before, and it didn't go very well. So the Aranama weren't nearly as well equipped as the Apaches. So they had a choice to make. Stay in small groups and not starve to death, but get killed by Apaches. Or join up into a large group, maybe starve to death, maybe not get killed by Apaches. So girls, raise your hand if you want to get killed by Apaches. Raise your hand if you'd rather starve to death. Think you'd rather starve to death?
Well, it depends. I mean, there is a chance that you won't starve to death.
There is.
It's a bigger chance that you'll get killed.
Yeah.
I'd probably hoard all the food for myself.
Well, what if you were given the option to come into a mission and be housed and fed and protected? Would you rather choose that rather than hoarding all the food for yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was an easy choice for a lot of the Aranama. So the reason why this mission had 40,000 head of cattle is because way back starting in the 1500s, and the first Europeans coming through, they were dropping cattle and horses across the land, and those cattle went on to become feral and populate. And so it started out as kind of black shorthorn cattle. We're kind of unsure of the exact mix of breeds there, but what started out as those cattle turned into Texas Longhorns. So they developed long legs for walking through all the scrub brush around here. They became lean, they became mean. They had to deal with a lot of predators around here. We had, of course, some of the things we still have, coyotes and cougars, that kind of thing, but they also had wolves and bears and other large predators to watch out for. So these cattle developed those long horns to defend their babies and themselves against those predators.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
Look.
So that's how they came about. It wasn't a domesticated breed. It's the only breed of cattle that we maintain these days that did not come about through human selection. So by 1830, Spain had lost Mexico. They were losing everything else. And so this mission was secularized by kind of by default because there was nobody here. The mission had been abandoned. The priest was left, but there weren't any Native Americans to pass land out to. And so it was kind of, by default, it was just get your bags and get out, we're done. But the Presidio up the road remained in action as a chapel for the kind of village that had popped up around the Presidio. It was called La Bahia. So today, the Presidio is owned by the Catholic Church. This site, after 1830, just sat vacant to the elements for 100 years. This was a mission that was for the Aranama. But as I mentioned before, they started out with the Chronicle, and it's the confessional booth. So the confessional, the priest would have sat inside, and a Native American could have come over to the windows and confessed his sins through the windows. Confessionals are still used today in a lot of Catholic churches. You can sit on it, yeah. You're the
Do you have, you're the listener. Leah, do you have anything to confess? Did you eat any of her Easter candy? No? All right.
1930s, this is all reconstructed. There are still some ruins that weren't quite finished because World War II came along. That was the end of the CCC. So now with the war, the men were needed elsewhere, whether overseas or here at home, trying to work for the war efforts. But that was essentially the end of that. And this site was transferred eventually over to the State Parks Department, and we still have it today.
do it. Push, push, push. Oh yeah. Look how fast Alexis is going. So this is the Cardinal Haven blind. So you can see a little cardinal on the perch there. And if you walk through the trees, there's a little hut that you could go into to watch all the cardinals land. Kind of cool. Yeah. I said if you need to. You're okay.
So it was Mexico up until 1836, and it was only between 1836 and 1845 that it was independent Texas. When in 1845,
So it was a country?
yeah, its own independent state, and then in 1845, Texas becomes the 28th state of the United States.
28?
Yeah, well, and then more were added after that. Yeah.
This is Francesca
Alvarez.
Alvarez, and they call her Angel of Goliad. No, she was not an angel, but she did kind of act like an angel by saving a bunch of Texas troops' lives. But so if they were captured and like put in prison, sometimes she would plead for them to be like for them to be let free. Other times she would like help them escape and hide them. So she's basically like an angel to Texas because of all the lives she saved.
What's that? No, what did you say? Are we going to see the amphitheater?
I thought amphitheater was only for ants.
Oh yeah. That's one you probably don't want to touch just in case. What do you think of that?
It's scary.
It's scary, yeah. Well, you wouldn't want to get stung by it, that's for sure.
Come check out the river.
Look up.
Why is it recording?
Why not? Come on, straighten it.
The camera is pointing towards Narwhal's butt. Is it recording? This is dangerous. I go really fast. Hello. I'm having a zoom.